because of course we all know waff. It does, Connor. Yes. No, honestly, I think it's actually perfectly valid, because you're essentially just using the Greek, right? The Greek modal names, So Aeolian, Dorian, what was it? Aeolian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Locrian. Yeah, back to you. Did I miss any? I don't think I missed any. But yeah, so it's completely fine, because minor is more of a colloquial thing as far as I'm concerned. Oh, Ionian, that's right, Ionian. Ionian, Dorian, that's right. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Locrian, Ionian. You're right, yeah, I think. Oh, no, wait, Aeolian, Locrian. What was that? Fucking shit. It's a lot of in and on and whatever. Yes, Steve Vai does. He does. It's one of his favorite modes, actually. Satriani also actually is quite famous for it. Although, and a lot of rock music as well in general. I just wanted to make that point before we continue. It sounds very distinctive, especially 80s, like hair metal, this kind of stuff. It sounds very happy and distinctive because of Mixolydian mode. They use that one a lot in a lot of hair metal songs. I think even something like Round and Round, you're soloing Mixolydian. Something like, I think, Little Fighter by White Lion also, I think. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. But the point is that that particular sound comes from that mode. And yeah, a lot of hair metal bands use those. Mary, there are different approaches. It's a bit of a long conversation, but I will chime in with my 2 cents. Just give me a second. Yeah, pentatonic is obviously everybody's workhorse, every guitar player's workhorse. Of course, we can't live without it. There we go. Okay. But let me give you just a little hint, because I think I also kind of struggle with applying them sometimes. But essentially, the way you practice them, though, because you see, it's another thing to apply them. But it's really important to know how to practice them and how to understand, how to even hear the sound of the mode. You know what I mean? And Satriani, once again, he explained it best. I can even give you a link if I can find it to his explanation of modes. But I'll basically digest it for you. It's really easy. So all you gotta remember, at first, when you're learning modes, right? Let's just have a quick little lesson. I'm sure it'll be fun for everybody. So, when you're learning modes, you just need to remember, let's say we're in every guitar player's favorite key, except for E minor, which means A minor. So, all we gotta do is to remember that A minor, as you probably know, if you are learning 3-note per string scale positions, if you're familiar with those, then you have your A minor, and like basic shape here. You see, that's across all 6 strings, starting on A, right? Basically, your first shape of A minor scale, if you want to look at it this way. And then, if you're starting that exact same scale, you're not changing anything, you're just starting it on the 2nd note. So you're not starting on A, you're starting on B, right? And you play the next position after that, which would be... Again, 3 notes per string every time, same notes as A minor, no notes are changing, just remember that. As long as you know your fretboard, you'll see that I'm playing the exact same notes, just in different spots. So this, if you're playing, check this out, if you're playing the note B as a bass over this, so just listen to this, picture this as your bass reference note, and then play this scale. Ooh, dark sounding, right? And that is your B Locrian, believe it or not, right there. And then you continue the same logic if we're moving to the third position from A, right? We're doing basically C major, essentially. Yeah, Connor, yes, almost no songs are written in Locrian. But there you go, see? And as you have your C as the bass note, and you can hear the major scale already as I play this note C. It's really intuitive, I'm telling you, it's actually so much simpler than people think. And that's the way you memorize the sound of the note. You take one scale, A minor, basically, and you just move it one note at a time. You move it one note at a time. You move it up, B Locrian. Another note, C major. Another note, D Dorian. Another note, it's E Phrygian. Another note, F Lydian. And finally, G Mixolydian. And you make sure that you play the bass note underneath. So let's say you're playing G Mixolydian, you play the G. Internalize it first. And then... yeah, listen to that little warm freaking minor 7th in there. So... it practically screams of blues and hair metal and these kind of more funky sounding things. Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be useful to you as well, D, because you see, that's the thing. To apply modes and to understand them, you really need to see them at first. I have to stress this, at first. You have to see them as the extension of your casual major or minor scale. It's all the same thing. It really is. The shapes you'll be using anyway. Whenever you're playing, let's say, exactly, G Mixolydian. So let's say I'm thinking of, you know... I don't think G Mixolydian, I'm thinking, oh, G Mixolydian, that would be the 4th mode of... actually, a 4th mode of this. Of C major. Or relative to A minor, and it's the exact same positions. So think about this, guys, for a second. So A minor, B Locrian, C major, basically, E Phrygian, F Lydian, and G Mixolydian. All the same shapes, all the same notes on the fretboard. It's literally just A, B, C, D, A, B, C, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Except starting on a different note. So once you know one scale, technically, if you know any major or minor scale, if you know what notes are in there, you know all the modes of that scale as well, as long as you know what positions to play. That's it. It's really that simple. Obviously, when it comes to just the actual notes of the modes, if you know what I mean. If we're talking about progressions, building chord progressions from there, it can get a little bit trickier there, even though the basic concept is identical. You just need to know how to harmonize the scale, and it will give you the exact same result, really. But there you go. That's the basic idea. So if you want to start applying them practically, that's how you start. Pick a mode. Let's say today you're doing, I don't know, Lydian, F Lydian from A minor, right? So set up that F note as your bass note, maybe play it in your software, or maybe record yourself playing that note and then play it back to yourself, or run a backing track, doesn't even matter. And there's that Lydian sound. And another beautiful thing about this, by the way, guys, once you get comfortable with the intervals, once you understand what makes Lydian Lydian, which in this case is that sharp 4, there it is. Then as long as you have your droning F note, take any position of A minor scale or C major, and you'll just be able to, by landing on the F, when you're resolving your phrase, you'll hear F Mixolydian. Check this out. A minor, right? But no. I'm just playing A minor. I'm just playing, notes of A minor, just landing on F. And there you go, there's your F Lydian. Like, this stuff is so much easier than people think. At least being able to improvise using modes is very easy overall. As long as you know your 3-note per string shapes, navigation becomes super easy. There you go. And it's just, it's quite intuitive. You just need to spend your time on what I consider to be the crux of any kind of shred guitar playing, any kind of fast guitar playing, and these are 3-note per string scale positions. These are extremely important. And a lot of people will tell you, like, the more advanced players out there will be like, well, you're gonna end up sounding scalar. Nah. Well, yeah, maybe if you only play the scales up and down, sure, you will. But you still need to know those positions, because they're a very convenient visual reference. Because whenever I'm improvising, I'm not thinking of pentatonic positions so much. I'm thinking more in terms of that kind of 3-note per string positions. They're just more visually useful to me. And it's so easy. Once you know the entire fretboard with these positions, like... I'm just like messing around, but you see I'm landing on the right notes every time because I know where my fingers should go. And eventually, if you're able to, well, I'm not sure what should come first. Like, the comfort with knowing what note you're gonna play before you play it might not come before you just know how to play the position. You know, it depends. With different people, it's different. But the point is, if you have those positions down, yeah, you're halfway there. You just need to add, obviously, other scales, other chords, everything. But this is a good foundation to my mind. I mean, this is what makes me the improviser that I am, which is not the best to say or anything like that. But it's a good approach. It allows me to improvise over basically anything, you know? So it's quite fun.